I know I just talked about Blizzard, but I've been dying to talk about this trailer. I proudly executed Arthas back in 2009 with the 10-man raid, so I get a charge every time I see the cinematic. Now, this trailer's like others that we've talked about in that it has multiple layers, but it also has a storyline that persisted longer than most, starting back in 2002. The tale of Arthas Menethil is a sad and epic journey, and this trailer wisely gives fans a glimpse at a special part of it, the moments that lead up to World of Warcraft's expansion, Wrath of the Lich King. It's promotional media, sure, but it also shows you a moment that you can't see anywhere else. And it tells today's lesson well. Make history.
Many trailers create hypothetical situations. We're not supposed to believe that these events actually happen, we're just getting a slice of whatever worlds these games take place in. Other trailers go the extra mile and write an extra chapter that fits into the overall story. So if you watch the trailer and play the game, you get the whole experience. The Wrath of the Lich King expansion to World of Warcraft, like the two product launches before it, got a CG trailer that demonstrates this beautifully. It also cooked up strong emotions that have been stewing for over 6 years. It all began with Warcraft 3: Reign of Chaos, released in 2002. Unlike Warcraft 1 and 2, Reign of Chaos focused heavily on narrative, with numerous story cutscenes, dialogue sequences, and character-specific quests. There were many new faces in Azeroth to meet, but 3 was truly the tale of the Crown Prince of Lordaeron, Arthas Menethil, son of Taranis II, Knight of the Silver Hand, and Lich King Lord of the Undead Scourge. The downfall of Prince Arthas began once the necromancer Kel'Thuzad and the dreadlord Mal'Ganis began spreading a plague across the eastern kingdoms. Arthas was tested when the town of Stratholme became infested, and the prince ordered the execution of the innocent population. Some of his men, along with his girlfriend Jaina Proudmoore, refused to help Arthas clear the city of the diseased. These events can be replayed via a flashback in World of Warcraft. After Stratholme fell, Arthas traveled to the icy peaks of Northrend to confront Mal'Ganis. He was tricked into retrieving the lost sword Frostmourne, which gave him ultimate power, but at the cost of his soul. He destroyed Mal'Ganis, and upon returning to Lordaeron, bathed in bell chimes and flower petals, Arthas approached his father on the throne and ran him through with Frostmourne. After clashing with characters like Sylvanas Windrunner, Kael'thas Sunstrider, and finally Illidan Stormrage, Arthas returned to Northrend and climbed the ice-crowned citadel to destroy the Frozen Throne, which imprisoned the tainted soul of the elder shaman Ner'zhul. Upon cracking it open and setting Ner'zhul free, the two fused and created a new Lich King. One of the last images we see in Warcraft 3 is Arthas resting on a newly crystallized Frozen Throne, Frostmourne in hand, dead to the elements and the rest of the world. These final moments occurred in Warcraft 3's only expansion pack, The Frozen Throne, which launched in July of 2003. 2 years earlier, Blizzard had announced World of Warcraft, and the quest structure of Warcraft 3 hinted at how this new MMO venture would be built. When World of Warcraft went online in November of 2004, franchise followers were surprised to see Northrend inaccessible. It didn't appear on the world map at all. Fans waited 4 long years to face Arthas again. The trailer opens with a reverse shot of the end of Warcraft 3's expansion. We push in on Arthas. The snow in his armor has melted away. His feet have been frozen to the throne itself, and he still holds Frostmourne in his right hand. He's moved little since we last saw him, if at all, evidenced by the ice around him cracking the moment his eyes open. The original Taranis Menethil was voiced by the late legend Tony Jay, but Earl Bowen, also known as the ghost pirate Captain LeChuck from the Monkey Island series, was cast for the king's ghostly return. Bowen had also previously done the voiceover that accompanies every race's intro to World of Warcraft, possibly suggesting that it was Taranis the whole time that was saying these words. The script has two obvious sides. We hear Taranis telling his only son some friendly, loyal advice, but we see Arthas fulfilling a destiny he won by betraying his friends and family. Taranis ends by reminding Arthas that his actions will inevitably lead to the throne. The throne Arthas chose just happened to be far, far from Lordaeron. Using Frostmourne, Arthas awakens Sindragosa, a massive frostworm, former queen of the Blue Dragonflight. When the gates of the Lich King's home, Ice-Crowned Citadel, finally opened to fans in December of 2009, Sindragosa was one of the last bosses Raiders faced before reaching the Frozen Throne. The place where Arthas raised her from the earth is also visible from the air in Northeast Icecrown, and the canyon she flies through in the trailer makes up most of the zone. The skeletal soldiers she reignites also litter the road that leads up to the Lich King's front door in both the trailer and the final game. Arthas may not have the legacy of tragic literary characters like Boromir from Lord of the Rings, but his story originated and has been mostly told in video games, and not only crossed sequels, but genres. Imagine loving real-time strategy games but hating MMOs, and in 2003 you get a cliffhanger that won't be resolved until 6 years later, and only after you raise a character to level 80 and get lucky enough to join a competent raid group that can trudge through 8 boss fights to get to the top of the Citadel and challenge Arthas, just to experience how the story ends. Anyone that wanted to skip straight to his death could view the cutscene in-game when the expansion's final patch was released.
Blizzard has two styles when it comes to CG trailers for World of Warcraft. There are the montages that show off various races and classes, and then there are story cinematics, which are very polished and placed at the forefront of the game's advertising. I enjoy the latter a lot more. Other trailers that have made history, and I know I've mentioned a few of these before, include the Jedi Temple trailer for the Old Republic, the teaser trailer for StarCraft II, which ended up being the game's very first cinematic, the trailer that ended up being the game intro for Final Fantasy XI, and the Siege of Neverwinter trailer for the recent MMO. In the next episode of Trailer Academy, I'm going to be talking about how trailers are going to change in the next generation. If you have any ideas about that, let me know in the comments on GT or on Twitter at GameTrailersVO. See you next time.